I'd like to call this meeting to order. I have an announcement first before we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. At the town board meeting on February 26th, the town board censured town clerk Susan Hoffman for derelict of duties and opened an investigation with the state police and New York State Controller's Office. On March 4th, the town board voted to engage in an investigation of the clerk's work via our attorney for the town's firm and an outside accounting firm. Tonight, we have reassigned the clerk's duties to Deputy Clerk Melissa Denlinger and have asked Susan Hoffman to join you in the audience. She has been asked to stay home with pay. However, we do not have the authority to prevent her from being here tonight. Could everybody please rise to the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If everybody could please remain standing, I'd like to call a moment of silence for Carl Mayer and Ruth Jones. Thank you. What's the roll call, please?
Councilperson Burrow,
Here.
Councilperson Goodrich,
Here.
Here.
Councilman Blumer.
Right. Okay, so I have a motion to approve the workshop meeting minutes from March 4th, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. So we have our profit and loss actual. We're doing pretty great. We do have a couple numbers to explain. The previous town board conducted agreed upon procedure in 2023. And so that charge has now just hit our accounts. And that was for $11,000. That was ordered by the previous board of the bookkeepers work on the payroll reports. So we just got some clarity on that today. I know there was like town board members asking why the Cooper Arias bill was so high. And then the other remaining 8,000 is their standard financial report preparation and other audit or other accounting and auditing services that we employ with them all year. So it comes this time of year. So they wanted to let us know that we won't receive another bill like this unless there's any outside work that needs to be complete until March of 2026, and that will be for the 2025 calendar year. Our savings account is looking really great. We've been the beneficiary of some consistent investments, which is pretty wonderful. We're currently I see your the New York Fast. There you go. So in our general fund, we have $2,287,077.83. In our highway fund, we have $1,972,749.93. And in our capital reserve equipment fund, we have $313,779.44. And if we look at like our monthly income, we're netting about $6,000 to $7,000 in interest through our night class account. So it's doing pretty great. We're almost on par with last year. The interest rates were a little bit higher at this time last year, but we'll see how it pans out. We're trying to get to that number to cover the entirety of the bond, which we're definitely on track to do from the capital reserve fund. So great thing. And I don't know if you guys know the loss of Ruth Jones. Ruth Jones was the mother of the owner of Kittatinny, co-owner. I think her parents actually started Kittatinny, and she died at 92 years old. She was a real champion of the Delaware River. I don't know if anybody of you had the pleasure of knowing her. I got a wonderful tour early on when I moved to town about 20 years ago, and they were really great people. And she'll be a big loss to the Delaware River region at large. We've closed on 564 State Route 55. That's being paid for 100% by ARPA funds. We're very excited about the purchase. We feel like it's a great safety net for the town, given the proximity of the building. And we're happy that we haven't expended any of our town budget on the building. We are not moving to take any action on the building at this time. We're applying for 2 separate grants, and we will update the public as we hear about those grants. We had to acquire the property before we could apply for the grant and own the property. So we're very excited about the prospects. We've been in touch with both our state legislature and our county legislature, and are looking into some federal grant programs as well. So it's a very exciting prospect, but we're not in any rush. As promised, we're not going to do anything with taxpayer funds. We did receive some good news for some residents on Mail Road. We put in a request to reduce the speed limit. There was no posted signage where Crawford turns into Mail Road. And the same family has unfortunately had their dog and their child hit by a vehicle that was speeding on the road. So we were able to get the speed limit reduced and signed at 35 miles per hour. And we're also able to put up signs, 40 miles per hour from 55. And we're able to put up signs, caution children playing, things of that nature. So we feel pretty good about like getting it reduced. On the same tip, as many of you know, we've had countless accidents on the intersection of 97 and 55. I wrote to the Assemblywoman Paula Kay when she was in Albany. She spoke to representatives at the DOT from the Binghamton office and from the Albany office. And they promised her that they will at least come and do an observation session with myself and her in April. So we feel very excited about that. My prospect, like from some casual conversations that we've had and some conversations that have been going on for a decade or more, Glenn can attest to this with the Upper Delaware Scenic Byway. It's been presented. There's been lots of ideas floated over the course of at least the past decade. We're looking to suggest things like rumble strips as you approach from all sides of the intersection, more aggressive flashing lights and signage at the stop signs. And any other ideas that you guys have, please email me at supervisor@townofhighlandny.com. We'll take all considerations, to the public's feedback on that intersection. It belongs to all of us, and it's really the duty to all of us to keep it safe, especially because we have so many visitors, and it typically is visitors, delivery men who are coming up here for the first time. That's who was responsible for the last accident that really destroyed and totaled the car. And unfortunately, I think I shared with everybody, it was a woman coming home from her chemotherapy session, and then she was railed by a delivery truck on the bridge, and the truck kept going until they were stopped by a pedestrian. So, it's a big problem. So if anybody has any suggestions here, please continue to share them with us. I wanted to report back on the Association of Towns Clerk training. We would like to send our deputy clerk. So at this time, we have reduced the fees because Melissa was saying that she doesn't wish to go to the masquerade mixer, which is another extra couple $100 for the banquet and the mixer. And so the total cost is $686. Do I have a motion to approve the cost of $686 to send the deputy clerk to the New York State Town Clerk Association, April 27th to April 30th?
Does that include hotel?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
Pardon?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. The Upper Delaware Council is holding its annual multi-town litter sweep to commemorate Earth Month. And we've chosen the tentative date of April 19th at 9 a.m. So the cleanup begins at the cul-de-sac in Berryville, and then teams are dispatched. We're usually joined by the Lions Club and Frank Guzman of Living in Berryville, Matt Salusto from Next Gen, and our UDC rep Christine Martin are the litter leaders. And they take the teams and dispatch them all over town. We'll do up Route 55, all the 97 corridor, and then we'll also continue on to Berryville Euland Road. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen a lot of trash under all the snow that's been melting. It's really exposed itself. It seems to be worse than ever, but I feel like that, I say that every year at this time, when we set out to do the litter sweep. So if you are interested in joining, just send an email to, I'll post on my supervisor page on Facebook and online. We'll post an email so you can get a free t-shirt for participation. And then we can also account for safety equipment for everybody that'll be participating in supplies. Just show up at 9, give us your t-shirt sizes. We'll disperse the t-shirts, maybe a bagel and coffee will be there waiting for you, and we'll clean up all this trash in town. And we have also elected with the Emergency Service Building in New York State Homeland Security to host a preparedness course. That's for preparedness for any sort of natural disasters, open fire, anything of that nature. The training is slated to be May 8th in Town Hall at 6 p.m. It's a program that the county has been teaming with Homeland Security in New York State. And we're going to be hosting one here. Everybody's welcome from towns all over, so we'll be promoting that pretty heavily. But you do get a backpack for participating with supplies in it for emergencies that you should keep in your vehicle with you at all times if they recommend. So we'll give you further information as it becomes available. And again, that date is May 8th, 6 p.m. in Town Hall. And now we are joined by a wonderful guest. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to Nick Rose from New Hope Manor.
Thanks for having me on short notice to get me on the agenda. I don't really have an official presentation. This is actually my first day on the job as an executive director. New Hope Manor is on Hillside Road, and we feel blessed to be in town, and we hope that the town will feel blessed to have us. We might be the second or third biggest employer probably in the town. We try to shop locally as much as we can. We got in trouble a while back for paying in lieu of taxes, so we're not allowed to do that, but we donate to the public department, the ambulance for that's what we're allowed to do. And we just want to be a good corporate citizen, so any way you think that we could work together, we'd be happy to do it. I think we're already in the county emergency plan because we have a generator in the kitchen, so if there's a disaster, we could house some people there. But anything else that you can think of, we're just happy to be here. And we might do more things with the community, like maybe community orientation day, because I think not enough people even know what it is. So we could have people come and give them a tour and see what we do there and think about how we could be a good member of the community.
And you mentioned that, you guys are stacked with generators and have facilities for warming stations and things like that. So that's something that you and I could potentially work on because we don't have a Berryville location.
Mhm.
We are trying to get our senior center up to date and ready to host people. This should be a command center if we have an extended storm, and then we are working on an MOU with St. Anthony's. So if we had the addition of New Hope, that
Yeah, that would be good, because I know there's a county plan, but we should also have a local plan too, in case it's a more localized
yeah.
emergency.
The storms aren't going away. We learned that this winter for sure, but we'd love to discuss that more with you. But thank you for everything that you do. And, New Hope is a great organization. I know we have some other board members amongst us. Kathy DeBoule is here, the New Hope or Burrell. So thank you guys for everything that you do with New Hope. And Nick, congratulations on your new post.
Thanks. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
congratulations.
Joe Barnes was unable to join us this evening. Do you want to go ahead and go?
Snowfalls out Renine, roadside cleanup and water and winter debris, they're cleaning up. They're chip brushing. They replaced the battery tires, rebuilt the ditch bucket, truck maintenance. Rebuilt the boom for swept roads, sand and salt mix is used off of Woods, Salmon, Schumacher, and Vincent Ford area. Stone bid. The bid will be open on Monday the 7th at 11 a.m. and then board meeting at April 8th, 2000.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the RFP for crushed ledgestone and process gravel?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Okay, Laura, can you give us an update on the Sullivan 180 grant?
Yeah, it's time to submit the grant for our garden maintenance and through the municipal partnership program with Sullivan 180, which helps fund for new flower planting outside of Town Hall, PEX, at Crossroads intersection, the Yulin Ball Field, areas of Berryville, as well as the hanging baskets throughout the town. So I'm going to finish the draft as a preliminary draft. It includes payment for soil amendments and new gardens down along River Road, along the walk path that was created last year. And we have a really wonderful partnership forming with the Highway Department in terms of helping to maintain those, water them on a regular basis. And so we'll be putting that application in. I have to submit it later this week. First, we had to finish our application for one grant and finish the report for one grant so that we could apply in time for this one. So we were going to do an annual maintenance municipal partnership grant with Sullivan 180. And that'll go on Friday.
Yeah, and so
Friday.
we're also trying to coordinate with the tail end of our water accesses grant. So we had an additional $7,000 left over from the River Accesses Silver Feather Grant that was awarded in 2021. We completed the majority of the work in 2024. I don't know if you guys have seen the activity path from the Roebling Bridge through the Eagle Observation. We're really proud of that. That's the Cape project, and the Delaware company will be continuing to work on that site as well. But along all of the river access sites, you'll notice there's interpretive signage. There's one here at Town Hall, and then at the 5 other sites. We're working with a company called Mama Co Garden. They do indigenous gardens that are like self-propelled. Once they're planted, they sort of like take on wild growth spurts, and they'll be maintained by our highway department. But Mama and Co is going to work with the town and the Chamber of Commerce to get these plantings started, and then train our intern from Sullivan 180 and the highway department to maintain the grants. So we're really excited about that. And we're hoping that if we are able to action the Sullivan 180 grant for the season in partnership with the chamber, that she can do some like maybe monthly maintenance to the gardens on the other sites. One of our longtime gardeners for the town, Carol Sunholm, is really focused just on the library right now, just due to health limitations and kind of aging out of the program, as she called it. But we're really excited to still have her on for the library. And we're really excited to be working with Jess Lewis. She's a great gardener. She's an all-female team and is located in Narrowsburg and does work all along the county. If you guys have ever been to French Woods, close to Hancock, she maintains all those gardens, so it's a really lovely place. You want to see some of her work, but we'll find out. So you'll submit a preliminary grant.
Yep, and then for the next meeting, I'll have numbers and whether or not we got the green light and approval, an outline of what plants need to go when, as well as a call for volunteers. Any extra set of hands helps, deadheading, planting the baskets while they're on the ground before they get hung onto the poles. Every little bit helps.
Great, thank you, Laura.
Can I just have another update?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I just got an email from the library. There's going to be an event on Saturday, March 22nd at 3 p.m. at the Community Senior Center on Route 55. It's called Tales from Celtic Lands. It is folk tales, fairy tales, humorous ballads of Ireland and Scotland with a free performance by story crafters, including a bake sale, crafts, and 50/50. Again, it's sponsored by the Sunshine Hall Free Library. It starts at 3 o'clock on March 22nd.
Great, thank you, Laura.
Excuse me,
Yes,
they plan on using the kitchen because
The-
it's totally dismantled.
The bake sale, everyone who's baking will bring it to the location.
It's also,
Probably need some water if there's water for coffee and tea.
they can use the water cooler.
Yeah.
we'll get to a building located.
I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that.
Got it. And then also, the Marion O'Neill Culture Club is very, 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 very excited to present the second annual return of the Yulin St. Patrick's Day Parade, which is on Sunday, March 16th at 1 p.m. The lineup begins at 11:30. We have the state police, the sheriffs coming hopefully with the Corvette. The weather report looks really great. Our ambulance, we were joined by, I believe, 6 additional outside fire companies. So we'll stagger all the other floats in between. We have a lot of green spirit in the town this year. We have horses coming. We have all kinds of really exciting things. Ruth Space Painting, Ruth Consiglio will be at the Collective, the former roller rink. And that'll be kind of like the kids zone. I know that the Alex, the guy who has the horse, and his son will be like allowing the kids to kind of play with the horses. Face painting will be there. Sounds like there's gonna be coffee and breakfast served, and then everybody can make individual reservations at Crossroads. And the parade route is basically from the fire station, the Green Line in Newland, circles around Beaverbrook to the ball field and back. Thank you to St. Anthony's for loaning our wonderful St. Patrick's statue, and thank you to Andrew Valenti for restoring it in all of its luster. We appreciate your service to it. Yeah, and again, that's March 16th at 1 p.m. Sign up is unnecessary. You can just show up. The lineup begins at 11:30, and the Ullin Fire Department will be the lead on that. And thanks to Tim Oset for taking the lead on that. We received a request that was shared with us by Rick Lander. I don't know if everybody got a chance to see the letter.
Yeah.
Can you take a look? So I thought we would put it in the hands of our UDC rep, because the UDC is funded by the National Park Service. The National Park Service sets their rates based on like river traffic and usage, and also like the receivables by said livery companies. These companies are making a pretty penny on the river and out of our river resources, and the National Park Service has always provided really wonderful assistance in keeping the river safe. It's kind of our only line of defense on the river. And so the annual fees, you know, with all the budget cuts on the federal level, seem to make sense to me. I spoke to both the UDC rep and the Upper Delaware Scenic Byway rep. They would not like us to support the protest of the fee raise. They think it's justified. And it should be going to the National Park Service, but I wanted to open the floor for discussion. Any discussion?
Mhm.
Are you guys comfortable taking the lead from the UDC and the Upper Delaware Scenic Byway on this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let's see, Tom, do you have an emergency services update?
The only thing I have to update is believe it or not, my wife is taking charge for trying to get the contract finalized between St. Anthony's and the town. So she's working on it. She has a few questions to do.
Yeah,
And,
John, we have around 12 of that MOU, let's see, these version there. Just for the public's record, we gave them the town generator that used to be at the former highway garage in hopes that we would be able to use that as a storm shelter. And we've been negotiating for some time, and we've issued a few different MOUs. There's some new changes to it. This is our first response in a year, so we're really excited and we want to strike while the iron's hot. So thank you to Mary Ann, who I think slaves away on the parish council to try to get this stuff done. Thank you very much. Tom, do you have a buildings update, or Sonia?
Hold on a second before we move on. Do you want to read the ambulance report?
Sure.
February, report follows: 26 calls total, 6 mutual aid, 234 hours, 1 meeting, training classes and drills along with required yearly recertifications, 84 hours, totaling 318 man hours for February. Thank you, Chris.
Do you have either the fire departments? Okay, got it. Thank you. Also just a building update. Tom, do you want to speak about the courthouse work in the senior center?
Sure. Well, right now, where we stand with the courthouse is the architect just came in, took his final measurements, and preparing the plans. And then once we receive the plans, we'll decide what we're gonna do and some bids for the construction. That's about where we stand with that right now. Anything to add?
Yeah, and then with the senior center, we're working with Bar A Restaurant Equipment. And they gave us the best price on our bid. We bid it out like, you know, online services, everything, but we did a lot of work with them. So we're getting custom countertops. We're waiting for a refrigerator, a freezer, food dehydrator, a 3-bay sink. We're gonna bring the kitchen up to commercial kitchen compliance.
Dishwasher.
Dishwasher, a rapid dishwasher, so that'll be really exciting for anybody who's renting the hall. They've already started to install the safety panels. We were able to upgrade the stove, which is really great. It's a really beautiful stove. It's like a $15,000 stove. And so we were able to put a little work in it. We replaced the pilots and the upper screens. And yeah, we're in good shape. It sounds like the equipment will be delivered and installed next week and the following. So for the senior center committee or members out there, we will have a couple of extra weeks of construction going on in the kitchen. So please bear with us. I think you'll be really happy with the results. And hopefully we'll be able to yield a higher investment from people that want to rent it. We're not looking to drain anybody's bank, and it's obviously the town's facility, so we want to keep it affordable. But I think with the new kitchen, it'll be a really appealing space to continue to work on.
Absolutely.
And we also have a grant that we received for this building as well, $75,000 to update. Hopefully this main room will have enough money to do that, but also the kitchen and technical updates for the hearing impaired and to be ADA compliant, but also for video equipment. We've also been working with our online security, Secure Cloud Technologies, and they've given us a proposal to basically keep us safe here in town hall, keep our emails and our records safe and all those things. So they put together a proposal for us. So we're going to vet this as part of the SAM grant. So hopefully we can get grant funds to pay for this security proposal. So we're really excited about those prospects, but we'll see what Ways and Measures gets back to us. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add before this?
Basically, special thanks to Melissa and her helper Dan for cleaning out the kitchen cabinets. Appreciate it. Probably hasn't been cleaned out in
Yeah.
quite a few years, but thank you once again.
Thank you. New business. Laura, can you walk us through the changes or what your plan is with the personal handbook? We've
Yeah.
distributed it to all of us, so it looks
Yeah.
great.
Send it to everybody. I had our attorney for the town review it as well, and no groundbreaking changes. The language needed to be updated. There was some more sections included to make sure that we're being as inclusive as possible with our policies. The only major drastic change, I think, to the day-to-day operations would be designating a smoking area with the picnic tables out back instead of out front of town hall. And so we'll be walking through moving the butt canisters to the back. There's a full-size picnic table out there for anyone that needs to use that. And we're going to be also discussing that with our partners next door in the ambulance. When summer comes, they're on a nice day like today, it would be nice to open the windows and not have smoke come in through the window. It used to be a policy that there was not allowed to have any smoking on town property, but we recognize that there's an area in the back that can be utilized for that. The major addition would be an inclusion of a thorough understanding of the different tiers with our insurance opportunities for town staff. And we did update some of antiquated information and updated the holidays that are allowed off for town employees. It was sent to everybody for correction, edits, additions. I have received a few, and I think it's in pretty good shape for publish and to be disseminated to everybody who's an employee here. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the personnel handbook changes for 2025.
Would love to make that motion. Thank you for all your hard work on it. I know it's not easy to come up with a handbook. I know it's time consuming and and laborious, so thank you for that. Okay, so I take that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Can you also just update us on the complaint form for code and what the changes are?
We have a paper complaint form in code. We get complaints for various reasons. Some come via text message, email, verbal, on the street, phone calls. But we did not have a live form on the website. We now have a live form on the Code Enforcer Buildings page where you can type in your complaint. It does require you to list the parcel, the address, give as much clear information to our code enforcement team so that we can go and do our visits and inspections. when you hit submit on that form, it is an email that's generated and it goes directly to the code office. And we are going to be updating our paper form to match all of the questions on that. So that is now live.
Great, thank you again, Laura. Do I have a motion to recess into executive session for the purposes of discussing the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, employment, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Right.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. It is now 7:30 and we will take a break. Do I have a motion to return to re-enter the general board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? No board actions were taken during our executive session. We recently discovered that the town's license to the state for vital statistics has been canceled as of the end of February. We inquired with the agency and learned that it was canceled due to failure to renew, and the state has been sending notices for over a year. We have renewed the license and would like to reassign all duties to the deputy clerk. Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to reestablish a bank at Jeff Bank for fees generated by the code and building department to be maintained by the town of Highland with the additional depositor of the code clerk?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to pay abstract number 2-2025, claims 16 to 27 in the amount of $80,744.01?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to general abstract number 2-2025, claims 44 to 79 in the amount of $66,836.50? Do I have that motion? Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have a motion to Eldred Streetlights number 2-2025, claims 3 in the amount of $141.69?
Make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Do I have any public comment? Catherine?
Hi, I just want to comment on Laura's Sullivan 180 grant.
Mhm.
In the past, Laura and I, and especially Laura, have been worked so hard on this garden. Getting married by the grants and we get a good amount of money for it. The problem is the maintenance of the garden. Laura goes all over, you and Eldred, watering plants. Maria, Laura, and myself tries to water the variable plants, but Laura does all of the hanging baskets. To keep them beautiful all summer long is a real, it's a challenge. And poor Laura, 5:30 in the morning, is out there watering.
True story.
We really would love for people to step up and volunteer in the different towns that you have these grants. We get this grant money, and we need to maintain them. So it's no use, we get a nice grant money, and if we can't maintain them for the summer because they're dry, it's a waste. Might as well not do it. So I really would like for people to step up in town, in each town, to continue maintaining, just maintaining. The intern cannot do everything.
Mhm.
We have an intern, but she cannot do everything. It's a lot of work to do all of this, so volunteer is where we're at.
Just for a little bit of relief,
Just one.
Jim Morbido will be from the highway department, has been assigned part-time to maintain the new parks as part of the river access
Yes.
project. And he'll be helping out with that because he has the watering queue, but again, we still need
We
volunteers.
need volunteers,
Carrie
we
Martin.
need some people to really keep an eye on them and really look at them and make sure they're not dry. Even if it's near you or you think about it, take a watering can and water the plants. We need to keep them nice all season long. So, just,
Appreciate it, Kathy. Thank you. That's,
You're welcome.
that's very valid. And also, just for the record too, Carrie Margolis also volunteered because we're gonna be doing some hanging baskets in Highland
Mhm.
Lake. And she volunteered, even though she's very busy, and travels a lot in the
Yeah.
summer. She's also volunteered to help coordinate those efforts and work with our intern as we expand over into Highland Lake for
but I
beautification.
think, people that live in town and, just. It's nice to just have them care for those, those decorations that we do so much love to look at,
And thank you for everything you do. I see you out there at all times with milk jugs leaking all over your car. Yeah. Martha?
I'd like to know why the light in Berryville can't be a regular stoplight. Years and years and years ago, when we didn't have all this traffic, it was a regular stoplight, and now that we have a lot more traffic, I think a regular stoplight would be more beneficial than the blinking light. Because let's face it, that blinking light doesn't seem to
Not
make a
doing its
whole
job.
hell of a lot of difference to a lot of people coming into town.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some discussions, Glenn, I don't know if you remember when we kind of discussed this in like 2019 on the byway, and there was some members on the byway committee that said, well, people are rushing to get to work in the morning, so they can't stop at a stoplight. That was one of the arguments.
That's a stop.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
A busy highway doesn't have a stop sign.
Yeah. It's part of it, yeah, Glenn.
Yeah, I do have a little information. Some of you might know, my wife Ari, who worked for both Jen Metzger, the state senator, and for Tony Delgado when he was a congressman. And there were, there been past efforts to have a street light.
Signal light.
And she inquired, working for the New York State Senate, DOT, and they didn't have a record of accidents. So we all know that it's a dangerous place, there have been a lot of accidents. But for whatever reason, they've never been in the past reported to the DOT on a regular basis.
And we just got access back to those cameras
Yes,
like
so.
last week, so we don't even really have like video footage.
So I think that, I'm not placing blame, but no one let DOT know the severity of the problems. And they have done studies where they put those strips, along the measure the number of cars and all. But I don't think DOT realizes the issue, how serious it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's on us as a community for not letting them know. Now, there's a new sheriff in town and wants to get some of that information out. But I do think that it would be possible to have a light there if the state knew the conditions. So I applaud your effort to kind of get more information about it. But I can tell you, from her inquiries, the state did not know of the accidents.
Thank you. And Martha, I mean, we might call on you when they come to do the site visit to come and give one of your impassioned Martha Eldred
Well,
little
it's
speeches.
I mean, years and years and years ago, when there was a lot less traffic, we had a regular traffic light. And I've heard this nonsense about trucks coming down 97, they're not gonna be able to stop. That's just a bunch of baloney, because if they know that you put enough signage that there's a stoplight ahead, they're gonna have to slow down. They can't be coming down from Fort Jervis into Berryville, coming down 97. It's supposed to be a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. Well, that's a joke too. But they're gonna have to start doing something, because people are gonna start dying, especially with all the amount of traffic that we're getting into the area.
Yes,
Doesn't the DOT have any interaction with the computer system of the state troopers, sheriffs, and information of the whatever is quarterly or monthly accidents or public violations or whatever that involves, you know? And therefore, it's the same problem we have with the law enforcement agency federal to local years back, even in the city. And here's the same thing, everybody's with the tunnel vision, you know, the T1.
Well, maybe that's a good approach to revisit the constabulary
Because-
records, revisit the state police records, and then revisit the
3
county
years ago,
records so
they
that
put
people
those
present it.
scripts that she's talking about, you know, and what is the result of that?
No,
Last summer, the person almost died there, whereas the dog, the restaurant, you know.
I
It
saw
was zoomed 3 times,
Yeah.
and when the ambulance arrived, you know, there was like people with dog lights, you know, taking them out of the cabs.
the car that was hit this last
Yeah.
time was like a pancake,
I
it was
thought,
awful,
like pancakes.
yeah. Yeah, was there any further public comment? Yes, Mel?
I'd like to go back to early January when Supervisor Pizzolatto stated at the town board meeting that the town's business would not be carried out on Facebook. Fast forward to January 28th, when the supervisor addressed a private citizen's letter to the editor on his Facebook page. While he stated that he was included in the correspondence, he was not. But that was the starting point for his Facebook rant against everyone who had the audacity to disagree with this board's decision to purchase 564 State Route 55. Interesting how he is insisting we respect private property rights at PAX, when both the management and owners stated they have no issue with our use of their lot. And yet Sullivan Public was maligned for trying to hold on to their private property rights as the supervisor championed the library's need for access. And then came Lisa Martin. Her post on the supervisor's Facebook page was welcomed with all its false defamatory comments. You have made the town a laughingstock, put us in a position once again for justifiable litigation, and handled a political Facebook page illegally. I'm sure news of all my extramarital affairs will appear closer to election day. If you were truly her friend, you'd help her get the psychological help she so obviously needs. The censuring of Sue Hoffman was just one more embarrassment. While her inattention to producing the minutes is deplorable, your attempt to make her look like a criminal is pure theater. Another unnecessary litigation your actions have brought us to. To most of us, Sue just appears to be the latest victim of character assassination by this board. Doreen Hanson, BJ Gettle, Norm Sutherland, Monica McGill, Carolyn Act, anyone named Haas, and Alice Foster. Whether you like these people or not, the actions taken against them are the real crime.
Any other comments? Thank you very much for your time and attention. Thank you for attending the meeting tonight. Have a great evening, everybody. And
I'll
please
make a
feel free
motion to
email
close
me.
the meeting.
Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. Thank you, everybody.